This could be good for me. Lately I was feeling like I need a purpose. But when you talk to me...
Yeah, hello and thank you for joining us in this edition of Right Talk with Authors. It's an author spotlight promotion show. My name is Grace Olumayowa Aideloje, and I appreciate you for joining us. If you're joining now, welcome. If you're joining later, thank you for joining. Okay. Right Talk with Authors is a value-packed weekly interview session with authors of great and life-transforming books in different genres and niches. And if you're one of them, you should get on this show. I assure you it's going to be a win-win for you, okay? Now, other authors get to talk about their books, their motivation for writing the book, their projections, and also how people can get access to the book, both in print and digitally. Okay, and it will also feature Seth Thomas, that's a publisher. Actually, most of the authors we're going to feature at the beginning, those who will be coming in the next few weeks, were all published by Seth Thomas. Is a publisher. If you follow my post on writing, Seth Thomas won't be a stranger to you. He's a publisher that I've worked with severally. I've recommended people to him and he does a wonderful job. Okay, so he will also be on this show with me and he will be giving us weekly tips on how you can get your books published on various platforms in ways that will earn you influence and income. So sit back for the next 20 to 25 minutes. Yes, it's that short. 20 to 25 minutes and we are done. And our guest on the show tonight is Jonathan Issa. He'll be talking about his book titled The Uncommon You. That sounds interesting. I'm bringing Jonathan in now. Jonathan, are you ready? Are you ready?
Oh, yes.
Can you hear me?
I'm ready.
Hi, Jonathan.
I can hear you. Hi.
You're welcome on the show.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. You look awesome.
How are you doing? I'm not okay.
Awesome.
Hey, welcome. Seth Thomas is also on standby. Let me just show your face, Seth. Let them know you're waiting. Hi.
I'm here.
Hello.
Hope you can hear me.
All right, let's get the show started. Jonathan, can you tell us a little bit about
welcome.
yourself before we start talking about your book, John?
All right. My name is Jonathan Issa. The lead at Fresh Voice Foundation. I'm also the lead strategist at Brandel. It's a digital and administrative branding organization based here in Nigeria. And I love to write, I love to read, and I love excellence like Seth. Awesome.
Okay, that's great. All right, so let's talk about your book, The Uncommon You. Can you hear me? The Uncommon You, right?
I can hear you loud and clear.
It sounds very interesting, actually. The title is captivating. Now, what is that book all about?
The Uncommon You for me, like I would always say, it's the crystallized form of my purpose. And it's the crystallized form of every person's purpose, because when you look at the design of creation, you will discover that the Creator God had, within the context of His will, uniqueness for everyone. And as such, for us to give full expression to our purpose was first begin or stem from the place of originality. So my book, The Uncommon You, seeks to reveal the place, the relevance of the discovery of our originality. Of course, the how to, the need to, and of course, the need to disrupt unhealthy conventions, which in a way gives us a stereotype lifestyle, as well as embrace the realities of being unique and uncommon.
Okay, so what are the highlights of the book? Let's get familiar with your book. What are the highlights?
All right, the book centers on reality. It centers on finding the originality. It centers on building creativity. It centers on the P1 principle, which I call personal investment. It also centers on the people investment. And there's an interesting chapter of the book, which I titled The Power of Documentation, You and Your Pen.
Okay.
And of course, it's something that every writer should read. It seeks to express the relevance of the ability to express your thoughts on paper, either whether you think you're creative or you think you're not creative. That chapter seeks to make you understand that everyone is creative, everyone needs to write. And whether you are the guy in the marketplace or you're the guy so much into the creative world, there will be need to put your pen on, your thoughts on paper, because I believe that like we face every day challenges, at first glance they are like mirrors, they stay at you, but challenges when documented are like windows, they open to you. Through the power of documentation, we're able to have deeper insight into the things we face daily.
Okay, I'd like us to take this further, because I'm a writer and I encourage people to write. I actually encourage people. I say, if you have it here, then it's better you transfer it from here to something tangible. Okay, because until you take it out of your mind and
Yes.
out of your head onto the paper, it doesn't actually become real. Okay, you see, but many people still don't, want to do that. I don't want to say they're lazy about writing, but I think it's just because they still doesn't they don't have that understanding of how powerful it is for us to document those thoughts, those ideas, those things that God is putting in our minds to express. And until you put it on paper, it doesn't become real. And I want you to tell us the strategies that you expressed in that book to encourage all of these people to put their thoughts on paper. Because the truth is, people don't actually believe in themselves enough to even write. An average person will say, I don't think I can write. I don't think I'm a good writer. Okay, so
Yeah,
Jonathan, let's take it from there.
exactly. Oh, yeah. Oh, great. I wanted to exactly say that every person who you meet who feels they can't write will always say, I can't write, or writing is not my calling, like in the Nigerian way. But I've come to discover that we all express a certain dimension of creativity. We all express a certain dimension of creativity. And when I get to meet this kind of people, the first thing I get to tell them is, everyone captions a Facebook post. You will discover that we all post on our WhatsApp status. Uh, Let me use poetry as a genre, and let's face that everyone has a way we capture our favorite pictures when we share them. That's a level of creativity. So poetry for me would be putting that level of creativity in lines. So we are all creative. We're only just lazy, or we may not have the endurance to do that. So for me, strategy number one will be a decision to be able to translate that little creativity to an expanded version of it. Also, the endurance game for me was solved by a decision I'm going to share now. I decided
Okay.
that there was never going to be a point in my life where I was not going to be writing. So as I speak to you on my desk, there is something I'm writing. So I don't somewhat take pride in finished works, because once I'm finishing another, I have to start another, so that I know that every day there is something to write, there's something to come and add to. And the beautiful thing about writing is, once you write the first line of thought, in 2 weeks' time, you can be disappointed with what you wrote. And so you find that your horizon keeps expanding.
Very
You can
true.
come back to read the same thing you're vibing to, and you feel disappointed. I'm like, did I really write that? And also on the opposite side, there are times where you write and you come back and you look at it. I'm like, man, did I really write that? It's so good. So that, and to me, that consistently helps. Just it's a principle I learned from mathematics, a mathematician rather. He has a mathematics question on his desk consistently to solve, and that's how he develops himself. So that's a good way to start. Also, and finally, for that, I think a hub coming within an environment of writers is very, very key. And reading is one of the easiest way to begin to write. Once you start fellowshipping with the wisdom and coming into intercourse with the wisdom of others, there's a way it triggers you to be able to put down your own thoughts. So that would be that for me.
Okay, it's a case of the company you keep. That's one of the things. There are so many creative people, actually, so many people. I see, I teach writing classes online, and I give out writing tasks, and I see people who say, oh, I don't think I can write. I can.
Mm,
But when it comes back to me and I see what they have written down, I tell them, I said, you can be a better writer than me, you know? So there is that question of confidence. There is also that question of confidence. People write and hide. I've seen people write volumes and hide it, you know, it's just there. It's either on their laptop somewhere, in files somewhere. They don't even have the confidence to show it to someone to read. They are too embarrassed to do that. So, what will you say about developing a writing confidence? Because if you don't have that confidence, if you can't risk it to let other people see what you've written in ways that you can improve, I don't think you will ever become an author.
I can't agree with you more. I think as a personal development coach, one of the very first things I share is the issue of confidence. I believe confidence stems from two things: the knowledge base and from practice. So
Okay.
you will once you have a knowledge base you think is not up to standard, it starts affecting you. And my first rule when I also teach writing is you don't write to impress, you write to express. You owe nobody no explanation for your line of thought. So you just write to simply express. So that's something for me. So once it makes sense to you, it makes sense to everyone. That's that for me. And also let me say this. I Seth is giving me that vibes to make me laugh. I won't.
I feel you.
So let me
I feel you.
all right. So I used to look for. There's also something called an intrinsic motivation that it looks very archaic and outdated, but it works. It is more inspiring to see your work on print than to see it on your screen. So what I used to do at the point when I was having those challenges, even if I write a 5-page work, that time I wasn't an author yet. What I go out and I print it out and I just hold it, and there's this joy, there's this inner motivation I get from holding my work in print. That's something I do, and I still teach you to do it, and it works. So, and today I have my book and all of that, and it feels good to be an author too. You can agree.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that tip. Okay, do you have an excerpt? Do you want to read us something from that book? You want to read us something in your new book? Do you have something ready to read out to us?
Okay.
Even if it's just a paragraph, a few sentences.
Let me prove that I wrote the book by quoting some off the top of my head.
Oh, that would be great.
That would be amazing.
Okay, let me share one of my favorite quotes from the book. I said, living in the reality of others is the burial ceremony of your own dreams. Yeah, you got that. And since you like living the power of the reality of others is the burial ceremony of your own dreams.
Wow.
Burial ceremony of your own dreams. Powerful. Yes. Yeah. Very true.
Let me read something out for you from the power of documentation. I said, the pen is a faithful tool. You can lose all other tools. They can wear away with the storm, but the pen stays. It is the comfort for hard times and the springboard for what's good that is to come. Note that every trapped idea, it carries a double chance of success. Every documented idea carries a double chance of success.
Hallelujah. Oh my God, I'm sorry. That's the pastor side of me coming up.
No, I like that part too.
Okay. Profound. I'm excited for you. I'm happy that you were able to, write this book. You have your name on a book that you wrote. That is something that should be celebrated, because I know there are many people who want to just do just one, and they've been struggling for years. And so I'm going to ask Seth now, how was it working with Seth? I just had my electricity taken out, but it's okay. If you can see my face, perfect.
We can't see your face.
Right. You can see my face, right?
Yes.
Okay,
how was it
good.
working with Seth?
Working with Seth, yeah.
Awesome. Now, I've always thought an occasion where I would have to explain to the whole world how working with Seth is. And thank God it's today. I was sharing with a friend that I will be on the live section to talk about my book. I told my friend just before I came to where I am right now. I said I was going to be a very unconventional author who may not be able to tell somebody the complete intricacies of publishing, because I met a big publisher who made it so easy. In fact, I don't know how I don't know how I don't know how these things work. I just knew
I don't know how he
there is a
does
set.
it.
Yes, he's just so good at it. And the speed. We're on a live call. Yes, sometimes last year, and I told him that speed is the new competitive advantage. And that's why we have fast food, fast cars, fast everything. So set is the balance between excellence and speed, and that's why
Wow.
he's new.
Did you hear that?
That was marvelous.
And far from
your
hype,
head in one place. Don't let it
he's Amazon's first baby. He's the number one guy in the game. Anytime, any day, I can put my money and my head on that.
I will join you.
Thanks so much.
That.
I really appreciate that.
I will join you in doing that. Okay, Seth. So tell us what we should do. To get published. We've been talking about writing confidence and all of that. And sometimes I think people just, they skip the writing part to the publishing part and say, how am I going to get this published? I don't even know how to get this published. And that alone can deflate their confidence. It can deflate their motivation. So we want you to tell us, how easy this journey can be if you have it in you and you want to put it down and get it published, to encourage those who are watching us.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Sir Jonathan. I really appreciate you. Now, the truth is, as far as I'm concerned, writing is the hardest part of everything. As long as you can write, you have the manuscript, you are done. As long as you can write. The truth is, you cannot sell what you have not written. So the first part where it starts from is writing. Any writer that can bring out a manuscript can get published. That is just it. In fact, what I tell people is that you have done the hard part. Allow me to do the rest for you. And basically, yes, just allow me to do the rest for you. Just leave every other thing for me. I will do it for you, and you are there up in the world. So for a new and aspiring author, those who are already writing, those who are already thinking, okay, I have gotten the manuscript, I know I'm thinking of how to, get it published. I just want to let you know to you that you should not bother about publishing. Publishing should be the last thing you should start bothering about. Focus on your writing, and publishing is going to be very smooth. However, one thing I always tell authors, especially aspiring ones, is that before you go ahead to think of writing a book, I know you want to become an author. Let the thrill of being an author alone not be your motivation for writing. You might just be frustrated in the end, because if you just want your name to be at the back cover of a particular package book, it's easy to achieve, but in the long run, you may not really achieve the essence of your efforts. Because while I was putting out this content, I said that we want to give authors the privilege to share with the world, benefits of their vulnerability, their skills, and their efforts, their stories, whatever it is that you have had in the past, whatever it is that you know so much, those are the things you should talk about. It's not about just getting your name out there, but about sharing your perspective to the world, your perspective. People are tired of hearing financial lessons from Robert Kiyosaki, refurbished by you. Nobody cares about what. If I want to get insight from Robert Kiyosaki's quotes,
I know where to get this book, right?
I know exactly where to get it from. But how about you? Can't you come out as your unique self? No, even if the truth is that one thing I tell people is that nobody can argue with your thoughts, no matter how odd or how simple you think your thought is. It still remains yours.
I think that's what Jonathan's quote. That quote, it just capsules that, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
All right.
If you live in the reality of someone else, it's just like dancing around your own burial, your own grave. So everyone has what it takes. Everyone has what it takes to get out there. So for authors watching me right now, publishing should be the last thing you should think about. Focus on your writing, because that is where the juice is. However, before you get your words out, ensure your book does either of these three things. Ensure your book does either of these three things. Number one, either solves a problem that people have, or it answers the question that people are asking, or it presents an opportunity that very few people know. If you can put any of these three inside your book, forget it, you make sales. I tell people every time, making sales is not difficult. Publishing your book to the world is broken already. There are people, everyone is looking for who can help them fix themselves into that broken cycle. So let your book focus on other people, your readers. What exactly can they benefit from reading? Don't just say, I want to get my book out there because I want my name to be on Amazon. It's a good one, but it's a very, very lowly way to think. The best way to think is focus on impact. I said, write with impact in mind, and then selling and every other thing is a no-brainer. It's a game changer already. So that is my take for tonight. I trust that somebody got value from what I've just shared. And truly, writing is the hardest. And if you can get your writing done, forget about every other thing. Publishing is very sweet and easy.
Thank you. Coming from Amazon's firstborn, you better listen and do. All right. Okay, so Jonathan, let me put you a little bit on the hot seat. I'm going to ask you some fast questions before we round off. All right. How do you write? How do you write?
How do I write?
Yes. Do you type it? Do you write it? And what's your writing life like?
Okay, I write on my phone now. I used to write handwritten, but I am really very close to my phone, so I write with my phone.
Did you write that book on your phone?
Okay, I typed every single word of my book myself on my laptop. Every single word. That's a fun fact.
All right. Okay, so what's your best time of writing? When do you write best?
Beautiful. 4 a.m. to 6 a.m.
Why?
I'm usually the freshest in those hours. I work late into the night, so after the 4 hours, I just give myself that time to write. Everybody's mind is settled at that time.
What about research? What about research? What do you do for research?
All right. I'm a vast study person, so I believe in diffuse knowledge. The book I'm reading now is my 36th book of the year. That's how
Tell
much
me
I love.
that again. Can you say that again?
The book I'm reading now is my 36th book of the year. So
what should that tell us as writers? Honestly, you can't write in a vacuum. That's what I tell people. If you're not a reader, you possibly cannot be a good writer.
Yeah.
Your 36th book. Now, that's a challenge to even me. Okay, thank you. All right. So what's your best writing position?
Like this.
Like what?
The table system, like just the office deck system. I just like to get into that work mood.
Okay, and your writing space looks like?
My books behind me, the decks in front of me, proper lighting, and the pen.
And then they use this flow ceaselessly.
Yes. Let me say this. I've written 13 straight hours before.
Seth, did you hear that? 13 straight hours.
Yeah, that's the longest. I've tried to reproduce it many times. It didn't happen. So I'm trusting God to go back.
That's intimidating, really, especially for those who are starting out. Okay, but I think it's also advisable. Please, for those who are starting out, don't just try that. Okay.
Don't grow, don't fly. Grow, don't fly.
Please grow and grow steadily. If it's just half an hour a day, you can write. If it's just 3,000 words, you can write. Just make sure you're consistently writing. Make sure you have a writing plan, and then you follow your plan and write consistently. And I think Jonathan should be there to offer his experience. Please, Jonathan, how can people get in touch with you? Because I'm sure some of our young writers will want to maybe have you mentor them or anything, how do they get in touch with you?
All right. I always say that I'm the easiest person to reach out to in the whole world, because I'm always online and always available. So, and I'm accessible too.
Amazing.
So I may not be able to fully dispense my phone number here,
No,
but you can reach
okay.
out to me.
No, no.
Can I share your contact? I have your email here and I have your
Yeah,
Facebook.
yes, sure. You can share my email. You
Okay,
can
so
share my
that's
books.
Jonathan. That's how you can get in touch with Jonathan.
Yes,
And how do
exactly.
we get your books? For those who are interested in your books, how do we get your books?
Okay, my books are readily available. Currently, we are distributing soft copies. Um, the goal when I released my book, I told Seth, was to make value both affordable and accessible, available, accessible, and
Accessible.
affordable. So my book sells for just 1,000 naira, and you can send me a direct message. You can pay directly into an account detail and send my number, which uh, we may put up later. That would be 090313
Okay.
760 and 70.
Okay, it should be in the comments. You can just put it in the
Okay.
comments section. All
All
right. A
right.
last
We'll do
word. We
that.
need to pay our buys now. A last word for those who are watching.
Okay. From me. That's it.
No, you, Jonathan.
All right. It's possible. That's something I want to say. It's possible to be a good writer. It's possible to be an author. It's possible. I usually end my physical sections, public speaking engagements with: you have a sound mind, you have a healthy body, you have a working mind, you have a thinking brain, you have a writing pen, and a healthy body, and above all, a prayer answering God. So see you at the top.
Hmm.
Amen. Okay, so see you there by all means. We'll all meet there, right?
Amazing.
Okay,
Amazing.
right. Your last words before we close the
Okay,
program.
my last set of words will first be to my guest right now. Our guest Jonathan has been a very amazing person. I tell everybody that his book, The Uncommon You, How to Discover and Unleash the Original You, the Original Self, is one book that every young person should get because it exposes your mind to realities beyond your thoughts. It helps you discover yourself, it helps you discover your uniqueness, how to sell it to the world and become you so that you don't get yourself dancing on your own funeral, all of that. So, and to every other person watching that has it in mind to write books, especially those who are still thinking of how to get the first word written. A lot of people want to write, want to become authors, but they are still thinking of how to go about that. You can easily reach out to us, reach out to Mrs. Grace. She's an amazing coach, amazing writing coach, and she'll guide you. In fact, she has a book that also teaches people how to both read and also how to write. She can mentor you and guide you through. So that's it for me. Reach out to her and you're up there.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Seth, for your kind words. And thank you so much for putting all of this together. Seth actually powered this whole program. And you've done an excellent job, Seth. Honestly, you are just someone sweet to work with. Okay.
Thank you so much, man.
Jonathan, thank you for coming on the show. You are our
Thank
first
you
guest on
for
the show.
having me. It's an
Thank you
honor. Yes, it
so
feels
much.
good to open the
Thank you.
gates.
Thank you and thank you. We really
Thank you
do
so much.
appreciate you. Thank you. All
Yeah.
right. From me, thank you so much. It's been Right Talk with Authors. I hope you've learned one or two things. The purpose is to promote authors, but most importantly, to encourage upcoming authors and writers to write their books and get them published. Okay. And I hope this program has just done that for you. We'll be back again next Sunday at 8 p.m. Keep a date with us. Bye and have a very blessed week.
Lately, I was feeling like I need a purpose. But when you talk to me,